This far into the novel, Liesel's nightmares are not getting better. Her nightmare experiences had progressed from merely awakening with the start to being thrown from her slumber in a fit of screams. However, Hans Huberman is always there to comfort her and tell her everything is going to be alright. On Himmel Street, the Hubermans had a few neighbors, of which Liesel met a boy named Rudy. Rudy Steiner was a mischievous young boy who Liesel started out hating, but eventually they became the best of friends. Rudy and her met during a neighborhood football match that was often held between the children of Himmel Street. Being the new girl in the neighborhood, she was put as the goalie. She ended up being the first person able to block a kick from Rudy, and humiliated, Rudy threw a snowball in her face and ran away. Hearing about the snowball incident, Rudy's mother made him promise to walk Liesel to school, and surprisingly he didn't mind. He started spending break times and recess with her, and this was the start of a legendary friendship. As Liesel and Rudy grew closer, Hans, Rosa and Liesel started to become a proper family, and Hans even started to teach Liesel how to read after he discovered that she stole the Gravedigger's Handbook. They took to going to the basement and learning the alphabet together, and Liesel improves drastically. Now I will be talking about some new characters that appear in this chapter. The first character will be Rudy Steiner. He was your typical boy next door, 8 months older than Liesel, and had a strange obsession with the runner Jesse Owens. The second character will be Frau Diller. She owned an Aryan corner shop where the children would buy candy and was extremely devoted to Hitler and the doings of the Führer. The third character was a boy named Tommy Muller. He was the goalie before Liesel came along and was an extremely terrible football player. He also had chronic ear infections and twitches as a result of them. The last character was an old man named Pfiffikus. No one knew his real name, and Pfiffikus is a name given to someone who loves to whistle, which he did. He swore even more than Rosa Huberman and was generally a very unpleasant person. Now I'll be talking about the literary devices. The two main literary devices that I found were personification and symbolism. An example of personification would be the music would look Liesel in the face. This is personification because it gives the music that Hans Huberman plays on his accordion the human ability of looking at people. Markus Zusak does this to give his writing life and to connect with the reader on a more emotional level. The accordion symbolized safety for Liesel because it signified the start of the day, as Hans would play it every morning for her, and morning meant daylight. This meant that she was safe from the nightmares that she suffered through every single night. The Gravedigger's Handbook was also an important symbol because it symbolized two things. The first one would be the last time that she saw her mother, and the second thing would be the last time she saw her brother. It is a symbol of the life of hardship that she had led before coming to live with the Hubermans. In short, the Gravedigger's Handbook is a symbol of the past. Now I will be talking briefly about the setting of the story. The setting of the story changes throughout these few chapters, however the main events of the chapters take place in either the bedroom or basement of the Huberman house or in the streets with Rudy and some other children. In The Book Thief, Liesel suffered the loss of her mother and brother, and it is implied that they are her only living relatives. While in Harry Potter, he lost both his parents to the Dark Lord Voldemort when he was a child. Friendship between Liesel and Rudy are very significant, and the same goes for the friendship between Harry Potter and his friends. Both Harry and Liesel were discriminated against because of some reason, such as bloodlines or, in Liesel's case, her abilities. They also had to live in foster families, and they were both extremely courageous and put others before them. These quotes that I found from The Book Thief and Harry Potter are related because they both have an underlying message of death in some way, shape or form. Another theme that I can see developing is the theme of friendship and familial love. The characters Liesel and Rudy portray the theme of friendship in the way that they meet each other under the most unlikely circumstances and start to grow on one another. The tone of these few chapters are also more laid back and nothing much is happening, whereby the lack of chaos allows for relationships to grow. This quote was said by Death after Liesel awoke from a nightmare only to be comforted by Hans, and she often mentions how Rudy doesn't leave and Hans doesn't leave. I think that this shows how Liesel trusts and unconsciously starts to love the people around her and the relationships that she has formed with them.